And working for yourself, there's obviously a lot of freedom involved in terms of dictating when you work, where you work. And I think especially when you have a creative role as an employee, there's a lot of pressure to like manufacture creativity at a pace that it naturally doesn't actually occur at. And then when you work for yourself, or in the way that I work for myself and the structure that I set up, it's a lot more flexible that I can do creative elements of work when I am actually in a creative mood than just do it when it needs to be done. So that was a big thing. But at the same time, you have all the cons of you don't have a steady salary and, you're only paid if you have a specific client, where when you're in a company, it's just constant. But at the same time, I did really enjoy, in terms of having my own business, I do really enjoy being able to tie something I've created, like being able to say like, oh, that specific thing earned me this amount of money. And with that amount of money, I was able to have this specific experience. Like I really like to be able to see that whole picture. Whereas when you have a salary, like, there's not a specific task that you can tie to X amount of money.
What was the moment when you recognized your side hustle being maybe the real thing?
Um, I would say it's really just a case of how much money you're making at a certain amount of time and whether you feel like if I was full time, I could match what I already have from my salary job. And also just like a level of demand. Like when I got to a point where I feel like, oh, my job is in the way of doing this thing that I want to do. I had savings, like definitely there's like all the kind of boring things in terms of like, do I have enough savings? Realistically, how easy would it be for me to go back to work if I went back to work? And I think also giving yourself a timeline of like, if I quit my job and this doesn't work out, after how many months am I actually going to be like, okay, let me go back to where I was before and refigure things out, and not feeling mentally like that would be a failure, just accepting that that could be part of the process and it's just part of the risk that you're taking.
Right. I like the angle that it wasn't completely a leap of faith, but it was a calculation, assessment of the time that you see the demand and you see that it's absolutely feasible.
Yeah, for sure. I'd been doing it for quite a while at that point and like gradually raising my prices more and more. And then when I felt confident in my own skills, that I could raise my prices to a point where it would match my salary or just match a number that I can live off. That's when I felt able to do it. It definitely wasn't just a random leap of faith decision at all, which I really wouldn't recommend doing that.
Was there a moment you almost walked away from the goal or the path you wanted to go, and what kept you going?
Yes. As I said, when you're running a business like I'm doing, like a creative business, your income is client based. So there's occasionally times in the year where you have like a huge influx of client work and everything is very consistent. But at the same time, there's also periods where it's complete crickets and silence. And those are the moments when you really think like, what am I doing? Was this a good decision? Um, I think honestly, the thing that kept me going is luck in terms of when things feel like it's at a point where this is not working out. Something always just happens to come through with good timing. So there's not like a specific thing that I'm telling myself for a specific practice that I'm doing to keep me motivated. It's literally just the universe. And then just someone else happening to need a service I offer at the right time. But I guess I do have some level of blind faith as well that something will come through at the right time.